Hello everyone and very warm welcome to this video lecture series in which we are going to learn about introduction to deep learning and neural networks. So this is the very first video lecture in this series, and in this introductory lecture we are going to learn that what is a neural network. So let us continue. So suppose let us take this example where we need to predict the price of the houses corresponding to size of the houses, or we can say that this is a housing price prediction problem. So you can see here that on the x-axis we have represented the size of the houses, and corresponding to size of the houses we need to find the price of the houses. So firstly what we need to do is we need to make a function. Now what this function will do, this function will map the size of the houses, that is the input, towards the price of the houses, that would be our output. So let's make a standard function for this. So here, for making the standard function, I would draw a straight line, although I could not draw a very efficient straight line, but consider it a one. Further, extend this straight line towards the x-axis. Now, many of you will say that we should also extend this straight line below the x-axis also. So why I'm not doing like this? There is a reason behind this. So suppose that if you extend the y-axis towards this side, so and now if you extend this function, now what you can see that above the x-axis prices of the houses are in positive, and below the x-axis the price of the houses are in negatives. But as you can see that the price of the houses could never be negative. So we should stop at this point only, at this point. Now, further what we can do is that we can draw a straight line touching the x-axis like this. Okay, I should draw somewhat a bolder line so that it is visible to you. Okay, so now this is the function that would map the input as size of the houses towards the output, that is the prices of the houses. Now what we are basically doing here, that we have the input as size of the house, and here input we are representing as x. We are applying this input to a node, and this node is having some computation powers, and using those powers or algorithms, this node is providing us with the output. Here output we could represent as y, and what our output is, we need to predict the price of the houses. Okay, so now what this node is called, this node is basically referred to as a neuron. Okay, this node is basically referred to as a neuron, and this is a very simple example of how a neural network works. Now if you want to make a very complex neural network, you could stack up these small neurons or small neural networks to make a very large or very complicated neural network. Now one thing to notice is that I have drawn a very complicated function here. Now what this complicated function is, this function tends to be at a zero level to some point, and then at some point it tries to boost up like this in the form of a straight line. So what this function is basically called as a ReLU function. ReLU, ReLU function. What is the full form of a ReLU function? It is the rectified linear unit. So this is a very important function if you consider as introductory lectures to deep learning and neural networks. So you need to learn the name of this function as the ReLU function, or the full form of ReLU is rectified linear unit. Okay. So now let us continue. Now here we are taking the housing price prediction problem. In the earlier case, we have seen that there was only one input feature, that is the size of the house. But in the real world problem, it would not be so. We could be having many number of input features, and based on those input feature, we need to predict the final output, that is the price of the house. So now let us look at this example. Here we are having the first input feature as the size of the house, and size of along with the size of the house, we are having another input feature as the number of bedrooms. Because if a family size is very large, then the size of the house would be large, and the number of bedrooms required would also be more. And based on these two attributes or input features, that is the size of the house and the bedrooms, we could apply these input features to a node or a neuron, and these basically defines the family size. Okay. Now, there are some more features that we need to include. One more feature is the zip code. And in some countries or some regions, this may also be referred to as the postal code. So no need to confuse. Now, zip code basically what we can say is referring to some other neuron, and this zip code basically represents the walkability. Okay, so how far or near a grocery store is, how far or near a hospital or various facilities related to the people is. This zip code represents the walkability. Okay, so now we have another feature, input feature, that is the wealth. This feature is basically the wealth of the people living in that locality. Okay, so along with wealth and zip code, we could input wealth to some other node. Okay, and combining with zip code and wealth, okay, we could get another feature, that is the school quality. Because it is often seen that where people are living in a very posh location and people are having a lot of wealth, then nearby to those locations the quality of school is very good, whereas people who are living in very poor localities and their zip code their locality is not quite good, then nearby to those localities, the in comparison to the rich ones, the schools are not of quite a good quality. Okay, so based on the family size, walkability, and school quality, we need to apply these three features to a new neuron or node. And what this function or neuron does is it predicts whether the person would buy a house or not, or instead of this, it could predict the price of the house, which was our example of housing price prediction. So basically, this price of the house is called as the output Y, and this input features like size, number of bedrooms, zip code or postal code, and wealth basically defines the input features X. Okay, so now look over to the next slide. So now this is somewhat quite a clear representation as what we have seen in the previous slide. Here, there are four input features: X1, X2, X3, and X4. X1 basically represents the size of the house. X2 basically represent the number of bedrooms. that our house has, and X3 basically represent the zip code or the postal code. Okay, and X4 basically represents the wealth, and these are all four forms our input features X. And here, based on these four input features, we need to predict the output Y, that is the price of the house. And what this intermediate node represents is, the first node represents the family size, the second node represents walkability, and the third node represents the school quality. Now, some of you may think that it is very much complicated to draw these intermediate nodes, as a person would think that how can we match up these input features with the intermediate node. So you don't need to take care of that. Neural network will take care of that. How? You only need to provide the input features X, and you need to provide the output features Y. Okay, as this problem is applied to the supervised learning problem, and in the supervised learning problems we need to have the input features X, and corresponding to those input features X we need to have the output feature Y. And our model is trained, or algorithm is trained basically on these training examples, where we have inputs and the corresponding outputs, and all the work, that is the mapping of the nodes and generation of the intermediate nodes, would be taken care of by the neural network itself. So you don't need to worry about that. So this is a very basic example of how we could implement a neural network to the housing price prediction problem. Remember that this is a very basic problem, and stacking up these small neural networks, you could make a very large neural network also. So thanks for watching this video lecture. I hope this video lecture would have been very informative to you. In the next video lecture, we are going to see that how we can apply supervised learning to the neural networks. Thanks.